that long day behind you. Good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open, you'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk the tavern. Promising beer and bedlam. The talk the tavern. Music, medicine, then some. The talk the tavern. The songs.
3R writes, just subscribe. Here's to you.
And let me start the show by a quick thank you to Bree for that subscription here on our live stream. Here's to you. Reason to drink. Raise your glasses. And I am Travis Sivart. You can find me at TravisSivart.com. Check out the books, the podcast, and all the other amazing things that I put together with amazing people while wearing amazing underwear. So, my vices tonight are bourbon and tobacco and a lot of swear words and a really fat pussy. His name is Giraffe. He's right over there. Andrea, what do you got?
Well, I was muted apparently. So, Andrea Lachat here. I have my knitting and I have tea because that's how I roll. What about you, Ed?
I don't know. After Travis's introduction, I got nothing.
That's because you're not wearing any underwear. We know.
Well, I got wine and black balls, and Maria has tacos, and Bree has Pepsi.
There you go.
Oh, chocolate balls. Sorry, Popa. Chocolate, black. I don't know.
Whatever. You know what? Whatever kind of balls people want to put in their mouth. Yeah. Long as it's consensual.
I'll volunteer them.
You volunteer the people or the balls?
The balls.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I see Brie had pizza and tacos earlier. Or pizza. Andrea had tacos and pizza. Both earlier. And fried chicken. It was a...
Well, thanks for telling everybody.
You're welcome.
Maria, how would you like to receive those pics?
And he's not asking if you want to receive them. He means as in what format. Okay. So we're going to...
In person?
We're going to talk about jobs that pay well that nobody fucking wants to do. And we're just going to go through this list, let you guys comment like we do sometimes. But a lot of these, they offer salaries, they offer benefits, and some people don't want it. Now, in a previous episode, we went on a hefty rant about all kinds of things, and I think this is going to tie in pretty damn well if you listen to that episode also. So, number one on the list, sanitation worker. Potential salaries, and that's what all these are. They don't tell me what state or country they're in. I'm assuming it's U.S., and I assume it's a more populated area. So it's perhaps New York City or around it or something like that. Potential salary for sanitation worker, in other words, garbage man, $50,000. Now that's the top of the pay scale. It's not glamorous, but it's essential. It keeps the streets clean and safe. And they do play a role in protecting the environment, recycling materials that would otherwise end up in landfills, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
I would never look down on the person who picks up my trash because I am so grateful that I pay him money to do it.
Yep.
And it's different out in our area than a lot of areas because here it's like individual companies that you call and you pay them, but a lot of people don't do that. They take their own.
Mm-hmm.
And there has to be someone there to run the waste management site.
Right.
So, yeah, it's very important.
Okay, see, Maria says, fun fact, I was going to apply for that job, but can't lift the weight requirement. And Bree says, some of those trash guys look cute. Let's face it, they're out there doing heavy lifting every fucking day.
Working on their tan.
It's a workout.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Number two, slaughterhouse worker. Now, this one here, I feel it's not as impressive salary. I thought this article was newer when I ran across it. I'm looking for a date on it now, and I can't see one. It says 2022, but slaughterhouse worker, potential salary, $15 an hour with no education. Now, no.
That's actually pretty good.
Right.
If that's the national average, that's pretty good.
That's true. That's true.
That's 30K. I mean,
yeah, that's not bad. Now, I assume with all the prices and pay rates jumping up over the past 6 months, this potentially has gone up also.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that.
Oh, yeah.
I haven't researched this. I'm just reading this article. But yeah, they need people who, every time you go get chickens or a rack of ribs or a beef loin or even just hamburger, they have to have somebody that remove all the organs and internal body parts and sell those to specialty things. It's yeah, but a lot of people just can't get into it. Number go ahead, Ed.
I think in this day and age, it's probably become a sensitivity issue for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's probably why a lot of people can't get into it.
Well, Andrea?
In the area, because in our area, we have a lot of hunters, which I think they wouldn't be sensitized to that. But I don't think there's like a job like that in this area. So I think it all depends on where it is.
Mm. Yeah. Number 3 on the list, police officer. Work. Potential salary, and again, keep in mind these are potential salaries, not starting salary, folks. $88,000. It is demanding. Yeah, Andrew?
I'll let you finish. I just have an opinion.
The article calls it a demanding but rewarding job. They're expected to protect and serve the public, must do so fairly and justly. Unfortunately, carries a lot of risk also. Putting your life on the line. Many people with families find the job to be undesirable. And despite the high salary and the respect the officers receive from the public, the risks are too significant for many people. And in the news, I will say, we often see a very huge lack of respect because of a few...
That's what I was going to say.
Bad situations.
Indeed,
yeah. Go on, Andrew.
Go ahead. Who? Me?
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead, Ed. Go ahead, Ed.
Well, and Bree just said that she tried to become a police officer, but she's glad that she didn't because of how things are now. Back in the day, I thought of entering in police work. I'm glad I didn't because of the way things are now. Some of it rightfully so. Most of it, I don't think it's rightfully so.
Right.
I love the videos. Gonna go off on this a little bit. Love the videos that appear in social media every now and then where the cop gets out and plays basketball or he's buying the kids ice cream and on and on and on. Love those videos because they are just human beings, people.
Right.
Anyway.
And that's what most of the cops are. I've known a lot of cops in the different jobs that I've done, and they are fucking people, which means I've known some assholes and I've known some really great guys, but none of them were bad people, because you can be an asshole and not be bad. But obviously there are bad people who became cops out there, and it happens. Yeah. And we're not going to go into a big conversation about the cops, etc., but I want to read a couple comments. Maria says, police would depend on where you live as well. I mean, a cop in my small town is a lot different than one in the city. My neighbor is a cop. I love the guy. And Tal says, agreed. Here it's generally safer to work in a city, oddly enough. Bree says, people forget that cops are people too. I've always had great experiences with officers, and that's why I wanted to become a cop. But yeah. Andrea, what were you going to say?
Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
It's okay. Go ahead.
I'll jump to the next one. We can always circle back if we need to. Number 4, potential salary for a coal miner up to $115,000 per year. Now, it's one of the most dangerous jobs in the world. Every year, miners are killed or injured in accidents, and many more suffer from respiratory illnesses due to exposure of dust and fumes. But it's still an essential part of our economy. And yes, we realize getting rid of fossil fuels is a great step moving forward, but it is something the world relies on at this point. And yes, we need to find alternatives, but that's not our discussion.
So that there's people willing to do that, but then again, it depends on the area and where the people that would be willing to do that work, how close they are to that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Here's something I don't even
location.
Yeah, and that's what Maria's saying is, local mine, pretty sure they make that much. And Maria says about the cops, let's face it, damn, that uniform looks fine. Maria says about the mines, we remember the 19 people who died in the explosion every year, too. So, yeah, Ed.
Well, 115,000 a year, and I know you said you didn't want to get public or political about it, but it has been suggested we can cut down the fossil fuels coal, and those guys can just find another job, making 115,000 a year.
Yeah. Now that's again at the highest level, guys. It's not entry level. So there is that to think about, and I don't know if it's on this list, but something I want to point out. Bridge makers. I remember when I lived in West Virginia, they were putting in these incredible flyover bridges. Oh my God. Incredible bridges. But apparently, like, there's a death every month.
Mm-hmm.
Like a really high mortality rate on these bridge construction crews. And I'm like, really? I would have never put it together.
Because that doesn't make the news, the national news, like a lot of
What
things.
up, Gary? Sorry.
Gary, good to see you, man. You ready for number 5? Portable toilet cleaner. Porta potties. Potential salary, again, I think this article is a little outdated on some of the prices. $15 an hour more if you own your own business. And it's an essential role to keep public spaces safe and clean. All kinds of events, outdoor concerts, construction sites, disinfecting, restocking it, emptying septic tanks. So, yeah, that's something. Oh, Gary says, best source of Irish mints.
No, Gary.
Yeah, I don't know where they're getting the $15 an hour. I mean, here, and I live in rural Virginia. I lost 2 people to go to work for a porta potty company because they were paying $22 an hour. Like, I can't touch that, so
right,
you go right ahead.
Now, Tal says, I don't disrespect cleaners at all, but I don't have the gumption for that. I'd rather work at a sanitation plant or something. Hard pass to portables. Tal, fun fact. The next one on the list, number 6, sewage inspector. Potential salary, $66,000. It's not the most glamorous job, but someone has to do it. They ensure our sewage systems function correctly. That's no small feat. Unfortunately, several factors make the job less desirable, including pests, dark areas, and offensive odors. As a result, it's not surprising that many people avoid working as sewage inspectors. I couldn't do the job. I'm repulsed by feces, which I think is, pretty natural. But I don't have a problem with somebody else who does it. The guy who came to clean my septic tank, I was nothing but respectful to that guy. I appreciate.
So is it septic tank or like sewage systems?
Sewage
like
systems.
Big things in
Yeah.
So, no names, but my friend's dad, that's what he used to do. He's since retired, and you know him. So there's people that do it.
Oh, yeah. There's people that do it, and mad respect for them, and I think they're a little bit too relaxed at what they do. I had a guy to come clean mine out one time, and he's like, you got a water hose? Because it's kind of hard. I need to spray some water in here, soften it up. He hung the water hose over the edge, and he's like, it was a hot day. It was like July. And he's like, man, it's hot out here, I need some water. And it's like, oh, I'll go get you some water. He's like, no, I'll just go get my cup. After he hung that water hose over the side, he, sprayed the water in his cup. I was like, oh, hell no, man. That came out of me. I know what's in that shit.
Oh, God.
And by the way, Gary says, I used to work construction. You have to be respectful of Porta Pro. And Gary says, for the sewage inspector, I could do it. And also, I believe that it can be dangerous. And it can be. pockets of deadly gas, etc. Maria says, I could do it for $80K. I feel like I have a price for all these jobs.
There was a show years ago called Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe.
Yeah, Mike
And
Rowe.
one of them was he went and did that for a day. No.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bit much.
One of the first things people notice about me when they meet me is my handlebar mustache. It's big, it looks like a perma smile on my face, and it really makes people react. I mean, I have strangers walk up to me all the time and say, I love your mustache, or, oh my God, how did you do that? I've had younger people walk up to me and say, hey, can I touch your mustache? I want to see what that feels like. Of course, I was pre-COVID, so maybe that's different now. But my point is, having a handlebar mustache is something that adds a touch of class to you. It adds finesse and a mystique that other people are drawn to. It adds an old-timey sense of fashion that even when you're wearing your most modern clothing, like workout clothes or whatever, it gives a little something extra to your appearance that makes people drawn to you. So the one product I've used since I first started testing mustache waxes, and I tested like a dozen of them for a book I was writing, Steampunk for Simpletons. The one I chose that was the best was Firehouse Mustache Wax. That wax helps my mustache keep its shape all day long. I've worked in restaurants and still at the end of an 8 or 10 hour shift working in the kitchen, my mustache still has its shape and body and volume. It's an incredible product. And if you're interested in trying Firehouse Mustache Wax, then go to firehousemoustachewax.com. That's Firehouse Mustache, MOUSTACHE, wax.com, and use the code TRAVIS15 to get 15% off your order. You should try them out right now. This stuff is incredible. And if you need tips on how to shape it or use it or grow it, you let me know and I'm going to help you out. That's firehousemoustachewax.com and use the code TRAVIS15. And happy waxing. Yeah.
Ready to answer your question, do I have some stinky hit? Well, it's got some power behind it, baby. Everything I got has power behind it.
Way to turn something nasty into something that I don't want to call it actually sexy. But way to turn that around.
That's his. It's his superpower. Okay.
No, number 7. We're halfway through the list at this point. Landfill operator. Potential salary. Again, I reiterate, these are like the top paid, not the entry level. $67,000. Working landfill, not the most pleasant job in the world, but it's important. Landfill operators are responsible for collecting, transporting trash to designated landfills. They operate various types of waste moving equipment. People shy away from the work because it can be dirty and smelly. However, it's a well-paid profession, with upper-level positions earning more than $67,000 per year.
Wow.
Well, I know that, like, not too far from here, there is a landfill area, and if you don't keep things moving, it'll catch on fire.
Yeah.
Because the heat will build up. So that is, yes, very important, very dangerous, but...
Yeah, I remember in Florida, they'd have landfills that when a heat wave would hit, they had to constantly keep them from bursting into flame. And there's times you're like, oh, landfill's on fire again. And you just see the streams of smoke going up. And there was people there handling it.
Yeah.
Number 8. I think Andrea could do this. I don't know. We'll find out. Embalmer. Up to $78,000.
Oh. Mm-hmm.
You want me to read or you want to say something real quick? You good?
Embalmer. So you talk about that. I actually was going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It is it is a very hard profession to get into, especially out here because most of the places, the funeral homes, crematoriums, they are family run. And if you're not family or part of the family, it's really hard to get into. But yes, I did try to do that.
So, just for everybody knows, embalmer's not for the faint of heart. National average for this profession, 51,210, with top embalmers making more than 78,000 yearly.
Wow.
Primary responsibility of embalmers: prepare a deceased person's body for a funeral, which is not a duty everyone's willing to take on. Main responsibility: remove blood from the body and replace it with preservatives. But they also take care of other responsibilities like cleaning the bodies, makeup, making sure wounded bodies are viewable. We've all seen these in the modern police dramas with the coroners and the CSI, and we've all seen these. And thankfully, it's put a very positive spin on it, I think. You know, it definitely gives a respect.
I see
And-
dead people.
Well, and it's something that people don't understand the work that goes into it, because if you have a family member that passed because of like car accident or some injury, the person that prepares the body usually has the talent to reconstruct and make it not look so bad for the family. That is talent.
Right. And Bree said, oh, by the way, Maria mentioned I could 100% deal with dead people. It's the living that pissed me off. And Andrea is very sensitive to animals. She could never work in a slaughterhouse, but she could work in a morgue. Because it's very different. It's a different type of,
Go figure.
you know, what you have to mentally deal with. Bree says, I spoke to a mortician that came out to get a resident's body where she works. He told me his wife was putting him through school. The first time he was embalming, he almost passed out, but he got through it. And so, yeah, it does take a certain mindset. Now, speaking of those shows, number 9 is crime scene cleaner. Potential salary, $72,000. Responsible for removing waste, which we don't think about, dangerous chemicals, bodily fluids from the scene of a homicide, auto accident, other catastrophes. They make around $35 per hour and more than $72,000 annually.
Wow.
Good pay.
So,
Yeah.
go with the pay and then I'll tell you.
The nature of the job regularly exposes employees to blood, bodily fluids, and other biohazardous materials, as well as injured individuals. Thus, you know, a lot of people aren't willing to do it. A high school diploma, certification in crime scene investigation, or biorecovery and PPE training are all prerequisites for this professional's education. And they get extra training on the job. What are you going to say, Andrea?
So I have done, well, not really crime scene cleanup, but when the body is no longer living, things happen, fluids come out, stuff like that. So I have cleaned up places where that has happened. But I do know someone, and they are a crime scene cleaner. They have an advantage most don't. They have no sense of smell. That's why they're good at that job.
My brother could do that. He's had his nose broken so many times, just like his father. Yeah. Could do that. Could do that.
Yeah.
I've done crime scene cleanup after some hot tub parties here at the house.
That's different kind of fluids.
It's still bodily. Number 10, medical tester. Potential salary, $3,000 per clinical trial, and can be done as a side job. So this is where pharmaceutical companies test new drugs and mixtures on human subjects before making them available to the general public. Clinical trials are essential in developing new medications, ensure safety and efficiency. While clinical trials can pay up to $40,000 per year, many believe this job is too dangerous due to the lack of FDA approval for the tested drugs.
Agreed.
Clinical trials side effects can include death in rare circumstances, which is why many people choose not to participate in these studies.
That's pretty rough one for me.
Yeah, you know, or let alone anal leakage. That's a big one for me. That's a big no.
Yeah, I think that'd be worse than death.
Yeah, I don't want to, like, I'd be like, oh, so I could die? I'm okay with that. Oh, wait, anal leakage? I'm out.
Nope.
I'm
out.
Yeah, I'm out. And we have a few comments on that. Tal says, heck no, hard pass. Bree says, no thanks on that one either. And Maria says, Would depend on the drug, I think. I love your enthusiasm. Okay, here's one that I know is also dangerous, but oil rig worker is number 11. Potential salary, $85,000. And by the way, it's a link, and I'm like, wondering where these links go. Do they go to, like, a hiring agency?
If you want to apply, click here.
Yeah, and actually I moused over the $85,000 that is a link, and yeah, it's Get Oil Rig Job. Not .com, it's a different .com, but whatever. So, due to the physically demanding and dangerous nature of the work and long periods spent away from home, it's no wonder that an oil rig worker is one of the highest paying jobs that nobody wants. Employees labor for 12 hours per shift doing strenuous tasks such as cleaning pipes, operating a rotary drill rig, all while wearing restrictive safety gear that make the most simple tasks difficult.
Work. If it's a lot of strain to clean the pipes, they're not doing it right.
Hey, how you doing? And Maria asks, we're talking about oil rigs on the ocean? No, because I have a crippling fear of open bodies of water. Land-based? Yes, it's a very common job around here. There are both. But the work environment is loud, can cause permanent hearing or vision loss if proper safety precautions are not taken. Although it can be high paying with no degree required, the trade-off is considerable. It might be one of those things, think about doing it for 5 years, 2 years, and going to something else. Okay.
Well,
yeah.
Another thing kind of along the same lines, which I know this is a big area for it, are like fishing boats, crabbing boats that go out for a bit of time, and they make pretty good money.
Mm-hmm. I just watched Perfect Storm about a week ago.
Yeah, that is an incredible movie. If you haven't seen it, guys, that is, wow. And Maria says, normally around here they do 6 weeks on, 2 weeks off. It's really, really common. It's amazing how much knowledge Maria has about such a variety of things. She is a constant commenter here in the tavern, and we really appreciate her input. We appreciate all of the input, but just the shit she knows. Like she's quoting schedules and pay rates and stuff. So number 12, let's see if Maria's got knowledge on this one. It's a shame Rachel isn't here. Number 12 is bull semen collector. Potential salary, $44,000. Bovine semen collectors, also known as bull semen collectors. That'd be awkward in a bar. What do you do for a living? Use an electro-ejaculator device to collect bull semen. The device is inserted into the bull's rectum and applies a mild electrical stimulation of accessory sex glands to induce ejaculation. By the way, I've known people do this to other people just for the fun of it, so I assume somebody
just for the fun of it.
Yeah,
don't get paid or anything.
Yeah,
so, well, some get paid.
That's true. That's true.
That's not quite as fun.
But yet, top paid experts in bull semen collection receive more than $63,000 annually. So if you're looking for a high-paying job that involves working with animals, bovine
That's
semen.
interesting. What you said about the electrodes or whatever, that's interesting because it's been several years, almost 30 years now. But when my wife went through vet school, they had to collect bull semen as well as horse semen. And they didn't have any injectors to put inside the animal. They actually had to do it the old fashioned. But yeah.
Oh,
Baby oil and a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
Heifers today. I don't know.
So,
And
would it
Bree,
be-
I'll take your help anytime, darling. Yes, go ahead, Andrea.
So would it be the same type of thing when they milk a cow, but instead of on the udder?
You got it.
Okay.
But when I worked at a pet store, we sold bull pizzles for dog chew toys. It's a bull penis. And these things dried up and everything were 3 to 4 feet long. So, yeah. You'll shoot your eye out. Gary says, where can you get the anal shocker? Asking for a friend.
Sure you are.
And Maria says, I wonder if that's just for collection or for keeping the records of the bull and what cows they distributed to and all that as well. That's a good question. It's
good question.
I guess it depends whether you're an employee or the person running the business. Yeah. If you're like just a solo guy with a fetish and you run your own business, I'm sure you'd be keeping the records. Do you love sci-fi and fantasy? Check out TravisSivart.com for some incredible books with fast pace and exciting characters. So, number 13. Almost through this list. Number 13 is urine farmer. Yeah, urine farmer.
Is that what's in the field outside?
Potential salary $100,000. So, hunting is a popular pastime in many parts of the world, but it can be challenging to track and lure deer. That's where urine farmers come in. These farmers collect urine from deer in extraordinary chambers, bottle it, and sell it to hunters. The urine contains pheromones that attract bucks, making it easier for hunters to find and capture their prey. Urine farming is a lucrative business where farmers make between $93,400 and $304,000 per year. As the popularity of hunting continues to grow, there will likely be increasing demand for urine from these farmers. Hey, Mouse, good to see you. So, yes, Andrea.
So, on the other end of that spectrum, apparently, you could sell your own urine and make about that much.
Truth.
It is, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know how to get on the dark web to sell my pee.
But
Or just, you can sell your panties and make that much.
I know! I'm like, Travis, if all your underwear is gone one day, I'll just know it's okay.
But every time I've tried to do it, they've kicked me off the train. That's all I'm saying. It's just, not as easy as it sounds. Okay, comments. Starting at the beginning, urine farming, we have had pardon?
Oh,
Ew. Yeah, oh dear. Never heard of urine farmers. Wow. Maria says, wait. Oh my God. Isn't there a moose scent? Oh my God. Someone does that to a moose? And hello, Birch. Good to see you. Enjoy the lurk. Bree is asking, I'm sure only in a professional manner, is this the same for farting in a jar?
Maybe.
And Mouse points out, but if you sell your panties, then you have to buy more panties. Yeah, but when you're selling them for $100 to $300 a pair...
Yeah, that's fine. I can
Yeah,
I can get 'em.
I want to take a drink of my bourbon, but I notice the color now. Go on, Whitehead.
I don't get this one, though, because if you're a hunter, okay, and you shoot a deer, get a fucking syringe and extract the urine yourself.
Well, they need something before they catch it. I don't know.
Well, how about some wine and soft music?
Yeah, something. You know? Come here, deer, you know?
Number 14 on the list. I'll just say this and I'll pause for a moment. Yes, Ed? Go ahead.
No, Bree's starting to OnlyFans. I'm sorry, I just got distracted.
And now Maria has to know if bear urine collection is a thing. Yeah, the same guys that I knew did the anal shocking, they would also be known as bear urine collection in some parts.
It's dangerous.
Number 14, the last one on the list, I believe. Snake milker.
Nope.
Yeah, no on that one.
Snake milker. Potential salary, $50,000. Snake milkers are experts who are trained to extract venom. Maria immediately jumps in, all capitals. Oh my God, I want that job. Extract venom from venomous snakes.
Not milking.
And Tal, who lives in Australia, says, LOL, in Australia. So, the venom is used in medical research, creation of blood clots and high blood pressure medications, and the creation of antivenoms for snake bites. Snake milkers work in Serpentaria, where they milk various snakes, including cobras, mambas, vipers, corals, copperheads, and rattlesnakes.
So if you've ever seen Jumanji, the new Jumanji, they do that. They milk a snake. Or they devenomize it or something, don't they?
They do. And here's a couple comments. Mouse says, I'll come back when I'm done with dinner. Gary says, that is actually a cool job. And Maria says, it's the best job. So yeah, there's our little list that we had of these things. So there are high-paying jobs out there that nobody wants.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently somebody wants them because it's being done.
Apparently Maria wants them.
Speaking of, before the show, I can't hear Travis when he plays the opening music, so I usually play a song in the background so I can be bopping, pretend like I'm listening to the music. My choice today was James Brown's Get On Up. What a fucking awesome job to have, to be the guy that was just on stage when James Brown says, get on up, and you just say into the mic, get on up. That's all he does, the entire song. A guy just stands there and says, get on up. What a fucking awesome job. I want a job like that one. Because I'm sure he got paid a lot of fucking money for that.
Okay, when I go on stage, you're also going to have to put the cape on me when I kneel down, though.
Oh, I will, brother.
Okay.
I got you.
And Gary says Australia, land of chocolate-covered bullet ants and funnel-web chews. Bree wants to know what job from the list I would do. Pretty easy, I could say embalmer. The rest of them, I would have to research more. Like I said, this stuff dealing with human waste, I'm sure I could desensitize to it, but I really don't want to. I also don't want to have to feel like I have to go through a whole Silkwood scrub down. That reference might be too old for some folks, but others will remember it.
Work.
You have to do that if you're doing the embalming and cleaning bodies, too, just so you know.
Yeah. But I tell you what, there's times I worked at fast food restaurants and you'd swear I came home working with the dead because of the smells that you get in a restaurant sometimes when you're in the back dealing with some of that crap. Let's see if there's any other comments before we wrap this up. Tal says, I'd rather work with dead bodies than dead animals. Maria says, there is... I really, really wanted that job for a few years and not willing to put up with the chance of dying via butterfly down under. Oh, that's the demand for the... Anyhow. Any closing thoughts on this? Andrea? No? Ed? I'll just raise a glass and say, hey, if you got a job like this, let me know. We will interview you because we're interested in talking about it and learning more. And good to fuck for you. Any of these. Absolutely. Make sure you join us on the next Talk of the Town. We'll see you there.